Welcome to Middle Class Matters, Business News in English from Dr CMA Alagesan. This is in continuation of the scam which is taking place in a country in the road transport department. This is the minimum estimate is around 3,15,000 crore, and it can go beyond at least 3 to 4 times of it once the project is completed. As of now, as of March 2023, the scam will be around minimum of 3,15,000 crore. Part 3. Considering material changes in the physical and financial targets approved by CCEA affecting the resource requirements for BPP1 in future, it is recommended that MROTH should consider approaching CCEA again after detailed analysis and discussion with relevant stakeholders, including its implementing agencies, that is NHAI and NHIDCL. Furthermore, in accordance with sound financial management principles and to establish responsibility centers, there should be a mapping of the scheme-wise funds released to ensure that funds meant for one scheme are not diverted for other schemes. MROTH should also ensure choosing most optimal mode of construction as it affects the funding requirements from government and borrowings and also has implication on the viability of the project. Para 4.1, 4.2 and 4.4. There was no system for project-based accounting to identify profit centers to gauge the long-term viability of a project, resulting which could not be worked out whether a stretch could be put to reduced tolling of 40% after recovering of capital expenditure. It also resulted in non-mapping of sources of revenue such as diesel, petrol cess, toll, plowback from the ministry, borrowings, other government support, etc. for project to work out cost of capital to make effective investment decisions. It is recommended that Ministry of Road Transport and Highways should consider establishing a comprehensive project accounting framework for itself and its implementing agencies so as to identify the profit centers and to prudently plan the sources of financing and their usage for different projects. Para 4.3. Award of projects. There were deficiencies in the appraisal and approval mechanism proposed to CCEA, as many of the high cost EPC projects, that is Delhi Vadodara Expressway and Dwarka Expressway, etc., could not be assessed by either CCEA or Ministry of Road Transport and Highways to have an advantage of the scrutiny at that level. Further, even the appraisal and approval mechanism decided by CCEA was also not strictly followed. It is recommended that project appraisal and approval mechanism, including delegation of powers, need to be comprehensively reviewed for ensuring proper scrutiny, selection and approval of all modes of project construction at competent levels. Para 5.1. Detailed project reports prepared by consultants were not apprised with due diligence by the competent authority before approval of projects. Instances of adoption of different specifications by contractors or concessionaries at the time of execution of projects than what were prescribed by detailed project report consultants highlighted the fact that specifications of detailed project reports were not found suitable as per site conditions. Further, detailed guidance documents for detailed project report consultant was not prepared by NHAI in non-compliance to MORTH directions. It is recommended that MORTH may consider establishing a detailed project report cell in the implementing agencies to create institutionalized in-house expertise for reviewing the detailed project reports and road designs against the extant standards and guidelines. As per directions of MORTH, NHAI may also prepare a detailed guidance note for preparation of detailed project reports for the remaining projects. Para 5.3. Instances of irregularities in award of projects by implementing agencies were observed in clear violation of the prescribed process of tendering. That is, successful bidder not fulfilling tender condition or bidder selected on the basis of falsified documents, award of works without there being approved detailed project reports or based on faulty detailed project report. It is recommended that anomalies in tendering and selection process of contractors or concessionaires should be investigated to fix responsibility on erring officials who fail to ensure due adherence to prescribed rules and guidelines. Para 5.4. Execution of projects. Acknowledging the fact that projects were stuck due to land not being handed over to contractors or concessionaries, MORTH apprised CCEA that projects would be awarded under BPP 1 only after ensuring availability of requisite land. However, audit observed that implementing agencies were still awarding projects without ensuring availability of requisite land, resulting in delayed commencement of projects, construction, and their completion. It is recommended that MORTH should strengthen and streamline the system of project execution, including land acquisition framework across different modes of construction. Para 6.1.1. Many of the BPP 1 projects were being implemented without environmental clearance in contravention of prescribed procedure. Further, non-obtaining of the forest clearance prior to approval of projects affected the project development as it resulted in project either being de-scoped or it being stalled due to want of requisite clearance. It is recommended that the model EPC concession agreement may be reviewed and scrutinized in line with MORTH standard operating procedure and Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change guidelines regarding obtaining of environmental and forest clearance prior to approval of project. Para 6.4.1. In monitoring of road projects, audit observed instances of non-appointment or delayed appointment of third-party consultants. Safety consultants too were not ensured that all stages of construction due to wrong computation of price adjustment formula in case of EPC HAM projects. Contractors or concessionaries were paid excise price adjustments to the tune of rupees 99.16 crore. There was diversion of funds to the extent of rupees 3,598.52 crore from escrow accounts for HAM BOT projects. It is recommended that MORTH should ensure that the independent professionals are timely appointed for Bharatmala projects so as to have better supervision of projects execution and safety aspects. MORTH should review the interpretation of price adjustment formula in HAM projects so as to avoid undue benefit to concessionaries. Further, MORTH should also fix responsibility for diversion of funds from escrow account being besides strengthening the control and monitoring mechanism in public-private partnership projects overpayment being released to concessionaries. Para 6.6, 6.7.1 and 6.7.2. Monitoring and information technology. In spite of CCEA directions, no system of half-yearly review of Bharatmala pariyojana by Public Investment Board and CCEA was established by MORTH. Also, no independent audit of physical and technical parameters of PPP1 and its projects as directed by CCEA was undertaken by MORTH. It is recommended that MORTH should comply with the framework stipulated by CCEA for effective monitoring and audit of physical and technical parameters of PPP1. Responsibility needs to be fixed for non-compliance of CCEA directions till date. Actually, the report very categorically says that there are irregularities and the investigation needs to be done as per para. Instances of regularities in award of projects by implementing agencies were observed in clear violation of prescribed process of tendering. That is, successful bidder not fulfilling tender condition or bidder selected on the basis of falsified documents, award of work without their being approved detailed project reports or based on faulty detailed project report. So the recommendation is also, it is recommended that anomalies in tendering and selection process of contractors or concessionaries should be investigated to fix responsibility or erring officials who fail to ensure due adherence to prescribed rules and guidelines. So that means that the audit report is clearly saying that there are irregularities and investigation has to be done. On what basis this irregularities are being conducted and how they are daringly doing over and above the Committee on Cabinet Economic Affairs CCEA's approval, they are continue to do even up to more than 3 lakh crores of expenditure. So this requires detailed investigation as recommended by the CAG to unearth what is wrong in this and who are and to fix responsibility. Suppose if the CCEA has not been approached by these agencies, once the CCEA comes to know that there are say deviations, then automatically they should stop. But it is the CCEA which is charged. The Prime Minister has also failed in his duty to bring the officials to the toes, that is to bring them in line and do properly. The irregularities are either indirect approval of the CCCA or with the blessing of the people in CCA only it is happening. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel and share it to as many people as possible so that people will come to know what is happening in our country, our hard-earned tax money and the borrowings which is being done heavily, for which interest will be paid by us and our future generations, are not being misused or not being looted. Thanks for watching.